Right. What I'm going to talk about is about, to start with, is manifestation. We're always manifesting all the time. Yes, if you are in a negative state, you will automatically manifest negative things. Yes, if you then correct it, you get shifted. Now, so I don't have to teach you to manifest. You're manifesting all the time. Now, one of the things which has been ingrained in and put into us from the mass consciousness was that everything is true. So, in other words, that when that belief structure is everything is true, then we start to believe that everything is happening is true, and therefore the feelings are always true. Okay. What you need to understand is, because that's a belief structure that is been implanted in the mass consciousness, and because it is a physical world, we think it must be true, when in fact everything is not true, because everything is projected from consciousness. So there is nothing out there, but because it is projected from inside out, it feels as if, because we don't understand it, we think that because it is solid out there, it is true. So all the time, you know, we take it for granted. Everything is true. Everything is true. The only truth is what? The only truth is we are energy beings. That's it. Everything else around us to be destroyed. Over a period of time, whatever you see in what you call the physical world will be destroyed. It will die of some sort of thing. But we, as energy beings, will always be here. You understand? So now what I'm actually telling you is to change it and say, it is not true. Everything that's happening, it is not true. And see how you react to it. And then you can just say, well, I will allow this to happen. I will accept this, but it is also not true, because I have to live in the physical world. I have to conform to the laws on this physical plane, and I have to play the game. So when you say, you know, but every incident is happening, you say, this is not true. However, I can choose. The feelings are true. The feelings are very true. So as we say, everything is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. Now, do we really understand that? Questions?
So what you're saying, Arram, is that whatever it is, even if what we see is something in the positive state as well, are you saying that we just have to keep saying it's not true? It's not true.
Yeah, but if it's a positive state, you can say, you know, it puts me in a good state. So if it keeps you in a good state, you will always be, it's okay. But I'm talking about every time when things happen, a negative happen to you, what are you doing? You will give it a negative story. And that story will then create and shift you to a negative perception or whatever it is. I keep repeating to you, the only point of the journey is what? To observe the same thing from different perspective. That's all it is. So everything that's happening, you just say, what else is new? Instead of saying, like we spoke earlier on, Neelam, how are things, or whatever it is. No, change it. And as soon as you change it, you know, it becomes different. And the next time when I ask you again, you will come up with another story. And every time when you practice to give a different story all the time, you are learning about what it is to give different points of view, different perspectives. And that is what the journey is about. Nothing out there changes. Everything changes inside here.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
So what you're saying is that, what you're saying is that if our vibration is at a higher level, then, you know, we even the statements, like I said, yes, plodding along, but actually what I should be saying, yeah, great, everything is good, it's going well. So as soon as the vibration raises, we automatically are in that state of feeling good.
You get shifted back to this, isn't it? Am I being told off? Is it neutral, or am I being blessed? Everything is happening at the same time, all in the now. And you are the one that chooses what you state, where you want to be shifted to all the time. And this is what most of you are struggling to grasp this concept, that nothing is true. Back to this finger shaking thing. What is it? What story am I telling myself? Fasani brought a question. Okay. The question is there a difference between a feeling and instinct, gut instinct? Well, everything is a belief structure, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When the information comes in, you have a feeling.
Yeah.
Now, if it's something natural, you're going to feel good about it. Yes?
Yes, yes.
Because it is joyful. However, when you go and start and give it a negative feeling, what is it going to happen? It's your interpretation. You have gone and given it a feeling. You have gone and given it your definition. So if something is natural that comes up, that is within yourself, there is no fear. There is never any fear. And anything that comes up that has a fear feeling is a definition, whatever meaning you're given to it. So if you're naturally in your being yourself, you are in your joy. You're connected to source all the time. So if you're connected to source and being in your joy, there is nothing to be fearful of. And it's only when you're gone into the past, gone into the future, and going to give something a meaning, that's when the challenge comes in. Making sense?
Yeah.
Because in any situation, what is happening? It is you are the one that is giving the meaning all the time. True or not true?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Mm.
Yeah. Think back now that you've so experienced with it, think back at all the negative situations in terms of you have accounted in the past where you lost it for no reason.
Yeah.
And then look at it and say, I could have changed it, right? And Raka
Yes.
brought up something about she's having pains in the stomach and all that and cramps.
Oh, yes, yes.
That is to do with excessive fear, right? In the stomach, we hold everything. The energy is not moving, and therefore is causing a lot of fear. We had a session the other night, and we went through in terms of her situation where she seems to think that there is no help. She's alone, blah 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 blah. So every morning when she wakes up, she's angry that she's got to drag the kids some 2-hour journey on the bus to some school. Every day is the same thing. She cannot relax, and she's never in the present. Obviously, when you keep doing this, it's going to build up inside instead of finding time to relax. And after a while, she realized in terms of why is she always feeling sorry for herself. That was the thing. She always feels sorry for herself. So I said, how does it benefit you to be feeling sorry for yourself as opposed to playing, why is this happening to me? And when she started to sit down to ask that question, I said, it must serve you to play the victim. And then the penny dropped. Because she had a perception of how things should be, a family should be, the husband should be there to be supportive and everything, blah, blah, blah. But her husband has to go and work abroad. And so she's left here and they meet every month or whatever it is. And I said to her, well, I said, aren't you so happy and lucky that you got a husband that supports you all the time, that you just have to look after the kids? And she thought about it for a while. She I never looked at it that way. And then once she started to appreciate what she had, bit by bit, she said, yes, I'm very, very lucky, as opposed to other moms having to go to work, blah, blah, blah. And here I am, and all I have to do is wake up, take the kids to school, and be where I am. And so it's a perception of what we sell ourselves every day. Got it?
Yeah.
Questions?
Just my experience of the stomach thing and the fear.
Yes.
That's exactly where I was. where the fear was so great, everything, as opposed to what I know now, the meaning that I should give it, I used to give it fearful meaning. Everything was in fear. So it used to be in the stomach. And I had a lot of stomach problems, but that has that has gradually now eased off. And also the realization of not playing victim all the time, because that's when the problem starts arising. Is why me? Oh, I'm really sorry for myself. So yes, I absolutely. I just want to relate my experience to the others. That's how I used to be. But the minute I got out of the victim state, it changed.
As soon as you get out of the victim stage, and because nothing, it's you that's projecting every time, telling it a story, isn't it? And as soon as you start to change the story, you get shifted. We're talking about you, Raka. We're talking about stomach pains and fears. Yes, I can hear you. How are you feeling today?
I'm okay, actually. Stomach wise.
Oh, you're
better, much okay.
What changed?
And even though I must say I had quite a bit challenging day today, I think I kind of gained back the empowerment today a little bit, and and I was standing my grounds with the boys, and it was just I think kind of getting back the power, and it kind of made it all easier, if you know what I mean. They were on time out, and I was, and they had no TV for misbehaving and all that, and it's been really well.
You're setting the boundaries.
Yeah.
You're setting the boundaries. Okay.
You know what I think? I was always kind of like, you need to follow through, and now with my two ones, you kind of forget to follow through what you say. You say it 1,000 times instead of saying it once. And if and you give them warning, and then but I forget to do it. You reminded me, and thank you for that, because it just got out of my head. I kind of got lost myself in it.
Well, because you kept giving in, and there's no boundaries, and no doesn't mean anything. A no must be a no, and you've got to set boundaries up. Good. Zana, I answered the question in terms of when you say, is it about the gut feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it.
And if it's a negative feeling, it's your story. You're giving a story.
Okay.
When you think, when you look at something on a situation or whatever it is, you say, I feel this, blah, 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 they don't like me, or whatever it is. There's not a story you're telling yourself, or the energy in the room is very bad. Yeah. It's you doing it.
Okay.
It's you creating it. The energy is always good.
Okay.
Okay. And so if it's good energy, if you have a feeling, when you have a feeling which is good, yes, you're in your joy. There's nothing to fear, is there? Yeah. It's only when you think nasty things about, shall I walk down the street, that man is looking at me and blah, 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 blah. You're creating it. Like a young lady, Johnny, used to write and say, people are always looking at her, and in her mind, they're nasty to her. When in fact, it's not so. I think Neva explained to her that it's your mirror all the time, and until we can understand there's nothing out there happening, it's a reflection. Okay. When you look at the mirror, can you make the mirror smile? Can you go up to the mirror and say smile? No. You have to smile before the mirror can smile. So everything is a reflection out there, and so if it's a reflection, then it must be what? An illusion as well, because the mirror is not true. This is what you're looking at all the time, and so what is being projected from here all the time out there from consciousness is being projected out like a mirror. It's not true, but because we've been programmed to say this is true, this must be true, And the mass consciousness, mass consciousness have been programmed as well. This must be true, that we accept it. And now I'm teaching you to say, this is not true. And when you go out there in your next meeting with anything that is a negative thing, take a deep breath and say, this is not true. I have a choice. I have a choice. SP, this is for you. I have a choice. Yeah. And every time you say you have a choice, you get empowered, not disempowered. Not why is it happening to me? Never why is it happening to me? What can I learn from it? And when you turn it, I have a choice. What can I learn from it? This situation is happening for a reason. And most of the time, we play the victim. Poor me, why is it happening to me? As opposed to say, what can I learn from this? Because whatever is happening is the right situation for my growth. Now, practice that for the next month and see how synchronicity starts to change and how things just keep falling into place. Wow, wow. It's the approach of what you keep thinking in your mind. Questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Good.
Aaron, can we use this method for children?
Of course. Now, with children, you have to be, you have to sometimes draw the line and be very careful and be in a safe environment. I remember years ago when my son was a little boy, and I drove in home, and he was standing out the window, and he was about 4 years old, and he had his Superman suit on, right? And he was literally going to jump off the window because he thought he was Superman. And I said, stop. I'll come up to you. Yeah, because they do not know what is real. So that everything is real. So you have to show them in a safe environment what you're doing as well. And also of the dangers that there is. Because otherwise there's no boundaries, but in a safe way, not in a negative way. You understand? What we do with children is we always show them in a negative way. We shout at them, we scream at them, instead of developing a skill of showing them something safe. So in terms of you saying, can we do that with children? What were you thinking of?
Little boy, and public schools here, they say all children are crazy. He's not crazy. He's an Asperger. Asperger. He's brilliant at art, but he can't pay attention to the class. He's always electric, just thinking about painting or making sculptures. He's just 6. He's brilliant at art, And my friend is always crying. And I was thinking if I could help this little boy with this technique just for a few minutes, trying to talk to him and keep him back on track to the right here, right now, because he's so focused just on doing things. He can't pay attention to what the teacher is trying to tell him. And he's calling, the teacher is calling him bad things like crazy, stupid. He's not, obviously.
Okay, when somebody says, all children are crazy, say, okay, tell me what does crazy means? Because you want to know the perspective of what his labeling of crazy is, not the adult idea of what crazy is. So, okay, what does crazy means? What does it mean for you? You understand? You have to be in their world, not coming from crazy from your world. Yeah, and once you understand what they mean crazy from their world, then you can work with them. Most of the time, we are always assuming that whatever words we hear, we're putting our labels to try and match that, and it's always a mismatch. Got it? Okay. Questions? Yeah.
Just wondering, what do you think about hypnosis? Or hypnosis? What do you call it?
Hypnosis, yeah.
Hypnotherapy.
It's another tool.
Yeah, what do you think about hypnotherapy?
If it works, do it. Everything is a tool.
So if I believe it, if I believe in it,
if you believe it and it works for you, then
so
it's it. If you don't believe it, it's not going to work.
Okay.
Just like what I'm teaching. If you believe it, it will work. If you don't believe it, it's not going to work for you.
Okay.
Everything.
It's like with
Simple teachings. What else is there?
everything.
Reiki,
What we call the
therapy, crystals, everything are just only tools.
bin.
And if your belief structure buys it, then it works for you at that time. The ultimate tool is what? You are the one at
My
the end of
mind.
the day. However, you use whatever tools that will help you to go on to the next teacher, the next tool that comes along.
Yeah. To tame the mind.
Yes. To tame the mind, to control the mind, to be in charge of the mind. The thing is to be in charge, to observe exactly what you're doing every day from moment to moment, to see what answers you're giving and how you can do something in a different way. So observe yourself and say, can I do it in a different way? And when you start to be creative that way, you can come up with lots of things. And that's when you start to change big time, because you're not assuming this is how it is. There is another way. There is another way. There is another way. And when you keep saying there is another way, there is another way.
Okay. It's just, for example, with the kids. So today, for example, we were on the bus and my children decided to just keep pressing the button. You know how annoying that is. I know how annoying that is. It must be very annoying to the driver and to everybody. And I kept telling them to stop and they just wouldn't. They had the blast and I was just, oh my goodness, you know, I had to keep calm, obviously. And I said, wait, when we close the door at home, you both going on timeout, no TV and all that. But I had to remove the younger one from, you know, strap him in the buggy and, you know, and so on. But it was a situation that was just so hard to kind of, you know, like, because you've got all the people around you. So it's not only your choice, it's also, I mean, you know, because I am responsible for the kids, right? If they annoy somebody and or do something they're not supposed to do, everybody's gonna, you know, come on me. So how do you deal with those kind of situations when it's not only your decision, like it's not only you involved in it? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, but this is also what you're thinking, you know, about other people thinking about you instead of saying, you know, so you know, you're thinking about whatever you're dealing, they're judging you instead of you concentrating on with your son. You're looking around and thinking, worrying about other people. Stop.
Okay, I'm back now. I can hear properly. Can I add to that, Radka, that when you change your vibration, your state of being from within you, everything around you, all the preferences that you experience externally start to change. So if you're coming from a space of people around me are going to judge me, my kids are being annoying, that's the energetic vibration that you're setting off in your energetic field around you. Whereas if you change your lens of perception to go within you, so you're changing your vibration, so you're coming from within, looking from within, going outside, rather than looking from outside, coming inside, your whole vibration changes. And so your energy changes. And so even your environment changes. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but you should look at all those people's faces.
Yeah, but that's because you were looking from you're looking from the outside. When your state of being that you are experiencing matters more than the actions you're taking, because your actions simply reflect your state of being that you're in, and you always get back what you're putting out. Everything is reflected back to you, what you're putting out. So if you change your state of being from within, what is reflected back to you on the outside is also changed. It's so instant because it's energy. It's like in the Matrix film, like it's just instant. It changes.
So you think if I was on a different kind of vibration, the kids would not misbehave?
Yes,
or?
because even the kids are picking up on your energy, that you're probably subconsciously you're thinking, oh, my kids are like this, they're irritating me, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, you know, typical tired me mum syndrome. And by simply changing your state of being to a level of excitement and joy, compassion, bliss, love, like changing to the pureness of who you are, your reflection is immediately changed, reflected back to you.
Okay.
And
basically is about you giving what meaning you want to something. Back to this, what meaning is it? Am I being told off? Is it a neutral thing, or am I being blessed? All the situations are happening in the present moment, and it's you that's choosing it. So if you're choosing in the bus ride of whatever the negative scenario, what are all these people thinking about, blah, 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 and your kids are doing blah, 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 you are then creating and reflecting a negative situation to you, which then you're stuck in a negative world. However, if you change the story, say how wonderful, you know, into a positive story that my son is ringing the bell, blah, 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 into a wonderful story, it also changes and shifted you to a positive state. You get shifted instantly, energetically. A very simple thing is, what story am I telling myself? How can I change the story? It's how we've been programmed, divide and rule, divide and rule, divide and rule all the time from thousands of years ago. And until we start to respect and people, it's not going to change. However, we're going through a stage where, again, we are dividing very much from the mass consciousness in terms of we are breaking away, and that's also okay. And that horrible world which of doom and everything that we want to think of is also happening at the same time.
Yeah.
That doom world exists. The good world also exists. We keep forgetting that. We get drawn into the stories of the negative worlds.
Because from moment to
this
moment,
is something, again, you get into your head that, you know, it is not true. Yes, the negative world, everything that's happening that's bad is there. Everything is good is there. Everything is neutral is there. You are the one that chooses. Now, how difficult is that? I got choice.
I choose.
Yeah, I got choice.
Not to know.
Yeah, you have a choice, you know. Am I going to be worried about all these people looking at me being a bad mother and my child is ringing the bell, or are you going to think of another story? You have the choice. And please remember that.
Absolutely.
Every time you're going to beat yourself up and say, stop, I have a choice. We are full of our personalities, okay? But you are not your personalities. All these personalities you have learned, and you know, it's like a dress, it's like a uniform you wear. You're just flipping different hats on all the time. And so if you're wearing the hats, you say, okay, it is not me. I'm playing a role out. And as long as you know it's not real, because the real me is pure, it has no hang-ups. The true inner you is full of joy. It doesn't go into any form of judgment or tell any negative stories. The personalities do. People think that they are their personalities, and once you get locked into that, you're lost. All the negative stories will come in. Instead of saying, I'm not my personalities.
Because you know how you were brought up. It's how basically, you know, what your parent taught you is right and wrong, and how you behave. That's what you carry, isn't it?
Okay, but it's no use saying that all the time. Do you understand? You keep saying that how you've been brought up, and say, no, these are the belief structures which I borrowed from society and my parents. They are not my belief structures. I can change that, not keep saying it's how you've been brought up.
Yeah.
Because every time you say it's how you've been brought up, you are reinforcing something. Okay. Stop saying that.
And you can never change. You can never change your parents' beliefs or your grandparents' beliefs. You can never change even the planet that you're living on, but you can, every moment you have a choice to change yourself. And you have a choice to shift into a parallel reality version of you that is already existing, that represents the change you've made within yourself. And so once you change to go to your inner joy, everything around you just shifts and changes. instantly.
I think you have
From
to go back to the lesson 2, about everything is in the here and now. Everything is in the here and now. Look at the television set as a good example, right? There are thousands of programs there, right, which are existing. The good programs, the bad programs, they're all running. It depends on what you tune into. So the negative programs or the negative programs are also running, but the positive ones are also running. You then decide what is it you want and press that remote button and say, this is the movie I'm going to watch, and it becomes your reality. But there are also the thousands and millions of other realities that are existing at the same time that's passing through the TV channel, which you're not aware of. Now I'm saying to you is tell yourself there are lots of good channels in there. It's up to me to choose. Now, what is so difficult about that? It comes back to what I've been saying. It's not real. This is not real. Once you say that, nothing is real. But because we live in the physical world, because it's solid, we keep telling ourselves, we've been programmed that it is real. Question.
It's basically that no situation has a built meaning to it, but the meaning that you give to that particular situation. And so then you ask yourself, what payoff am I getting from being a victim and a tired mum and a complaining mum and a not good enough mum and an unworthy person? Like, what, you can literally list them down on a piece of paper. What payoffs am I getting from these negative mindsets that I'm of my head trash? It's basically a dustbin trash bag in your head. And then you look at those and you say, well, how would I turn those into opposite? What's the opposite of unworthiness? It's love or self-love. What's the opposite of not being good enough? It's being confident. What's the opposite of fear? It's being love. And then you change yourself from within. There's no rush. That instant moment. Okay. And it's not from the outside, but from the inside.
Everything is on the inside. You cannot change the outside world. What we're trying to do is we're always trying to change the outside world. You can't. Yeah, you change your inner world and the outer world will change, or you get shifted. It's the state of what's inside you all the time. It doesn't really matter what's outside. I keep saying that. Yeah.
The minute you take responsibility yourself to say that it's me and I've got to change myself, instantly things around you change.
Well, the thing is,
It's
instead of saying I can change myself, and say, what story am I telling myself that's upsetting me? What story am I telling myself that's upsetting me?
Because the more stories you're telling yourself, the more you're resisting things, and the more the things will stick around anyway. More insistence, more resistance.
So every time you have a frequency shift and imbalance, is you take a deep breath and say, what story am I telling myself? I have a choice. Because nothing is real. Try that now. Not try, do it the next time.
Do it.
Take a deep breath and say, I have a choice. That's all you have to say. I have a choice. As soon as you have a choice, so I choose then to be in a positive state. Back to this. Shake the finger and say, what does it mean? I'm always shaking the finger. What does it mean? Now I know what it means.